This is the last lecture in the series relating to language, constitution, and law. So, in that context, we would like to discuss first the linguistic reorganization of states. In that context, before independence of India, during the British India rule, past any such state that was formed on the basis of linguistic reason, and that is Odisha was formed on the basis of language on April 1, 1936, and after independence of India, the SK Committee or the Linguistic Provinces Commission of 1948 advocated against linguistic reorganization of state as it could lead to administrative difficulties and threaten national unity. Then in 1948, the committee consisting of Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, Padavi Sitaramaya set up why Indian National Congress concurred with the committee and said states should be formed on the basis of economic prospects, security, and national unity. Formation of Andhra Pradesh for Telugu speakers. Padavi Siramu, a Congress activist, died after 58 days of hunger strike, put the government under extreme pressure and led to formation of Andhra Pradesh state based on language. After that, other regional people also demanded this end. The Fazal Commission in 1953, also known as the State Reorganization Commission, acknowledged four key factors for state reorganization, such as language and culture unity within a state, national security and integrity, financial, economic, and administrative feasibility, and lastly, promoting individual, state, and national welfare. This led to a proposal merging 27 states into 16 states along with three union territories. The State Reorganization Act 1956 passed to implement Federal Commission recommendations. Since then, other states have been kept out on linguistic basis like the Bombay state, especially for Marathi speaking and Gujarat for Gujarat speaking were bifurcated in 1960. Haryana, the Hindi speaking from Punjab, Punjabi speaking in the year 1966. And now we would like to discuss the constitutional provisions as provided under 8th schedule of the Constitution, then the provisions of Article 343 and Article 344 and Article 348, and finally the provisions relating to language issues under Article 351. So, protection of minority language, the Constitution of India in Article 29 gives fundamental right to minorities to protect their language and script. No national language. The Indian Constitution does not provide any one language as India's national language as regarding official language. Article 343 of the Constitution provides that the official language of the Union shall be Hindi in Devanagari script. The Official Language Act of 1963 provides for continued use of English for official purpose and designated Hindi and English as official languages. Commission for Language, as it is provided under the Constitution under Article 344 of the Constitution, requires the Commission to be set up every 10 years for progressive use of Hindi for official purposes. And as regarding promotion of Hindi, Article 351 of the Constitution says that it shall be the duty of the Union government to promote the spread of Hindi language to develop it so that it may serve as a medium of expression for all the elements of the composite culture of India. This must be done without interfering with its genius, the forms, style, and expression used in Hindustani and in other languages of India, specified in the 8th schedule. So also, the Constitution provides under its 8th schedule. There are 22 languages listed under the 8th schedule of the Constitution, such as Assamese, Bengali, Bodo, Dorgi, Gujarati, Hindi, Kashmiri, Kannada, Konkani, Maithili, Malayalam, Manipuri, Marathi, Nepali, Odia, Punjabi, Sanskrit, Santali, Sindhi, Tamil, Telugu, and Urdu as the scheduled languages under the 8th schedule of the Constitution. And finally, under Article 348, it provides that until Parliament by law otherwise provides, all proceedings in the Supreme Court and in every High Court and all bills, acts, ordinances, rules and orders, etc., at the union and state levels shall be in English language. In states, other languages can be used after approval from the President and Governor. Now we will discuss the relevant laws relating to language, constitution and law, and in that connection the Official Language Act of 1963 and the Official Languages Amendment Act 1967. The language politics in post-independence India took a major turn with the Official Languages Act of 1963. This act was a response to the nearing expiration of 15-year transition period specified in the Constitution for the use of English as an official language alongside Hindi. So, according to Article 343 of the Indian Constitution, Hindi was to be the official language of the Union with English allowed for official purposes for the past 15 years. And as such, as this very deadline approached, non-Hindi speaking states, especially in the South, naturally started growing anxious about Hindi's dominance. The Official Language Act of 1963 attempted to address this by ensuring that English could continue to be used alongside Hindi even beyond 1965. It stated that notwithstanding the expiration of the period of 15 years from the commencement of the Constitution, the English language may continue to be used for all official purposes, but the Act used the word may instead of shall, which left room for ambiguity and continued the protest. While this Act was a stopgap, it was insufficient to quell fears of Hindi imposition. And finally, the Act was amended in the year 1967. The amendment of the Official Language Act in 1967 to formalize the government's promise. The Official Languages Act amended. The key changes was that English could continue indefinitely as an official language and therefore Hindi would not be the sole language of governance. The Act now clearly stated that English shall continue to be used for official purposes of the Union and communication between the Union and non-Hindi speaking states. This amendment effectively ensured the indefinite use of both Hindi and English as the languages for official communication in India, avoiding a single language imposition and removing any ambiguity left by the 1963 Official Languages Act. This amendment suits the concerns of non-Hindi speaking states, especially in the south of India. It caused years of Hindi overshadowing regional languages, reinforcing the principle of bilingualism, which remains relevant to India's language policy even today. And now we would like to discuss the very impacts and implications left over on the federal structure and on national unity and on governance and on electoral politics, and finally it is a tool for empowerment. So the first such implication impact relating to federalism as to the particularly federal structure of the Indian Constitution. So language agitations challenge and test the centralizing tendencies of the Union, and states demanding linguistic autonomy may resist national integration efforts. In external cases, language issues can fuel some nationalist and secessionist sentiments, as in historically in the case of Tamil Nadu and part of the Northeast. And further regarding national unity and social harmony, the us versus them narratives based on language can polarize communities, leading to xenophobia and targeted violence. Migrants, especially from Hindi speaking states, face discrimination or harassment to some extent. In states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, etc., it undermines the constitutional promise of freedom of movement, residence, and employment enshrined under Article 19. The most other important impact or implication is on governance and public services. Demands for linguistic primacy can complicate administrative functioning, especially in multilingual states across the country. For example, pushing for local languages in courts, universities, and entrance examinations like Union Public Service Commission NIT may enhance inclusivity but also pose standardization and translation challenges. And another important implication or impact is on electoral politics and population. Identity-based politics distract from governance and development issues, focusing instead on symbolic gestures and emotive rhetoric. It may yield short-term electoral gains, but it can hinder long-term economic planning and inclusive policy making. Further, another most important impact or implication is on as a tool for empowerment. On the positive side, language-based movements can promote cultural revival, decentralization, and greater access to governance. Campaigns for mother tongue education can enhance learning outcomes and early childhood development, as supported by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. And now we would like to discuss the various methods and approaches taken by the governments regarding to promote language in India. So in that sense, would like to discuss that classical languages recognitions as made by the Union Government of India Six languages including Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Sanskrit, Kannada and Odia are recognized as classical languages due to their antiquity and rich cultural tradition. Special awards and university professorship in central government universities for the eminent scholars in these languages has been provided to ensure their preservation. Also, National Translation Mission aims to make higher education accessible to all by translating academic texts to the 22 languages of the 8th schedule. Innovation is expected as modern terminologies will be invented in traditional languages through translation. Further, special centralized universities and departments such as Central Sanskrit University, Kendriya Hindi Sansthan, National Council for Promotion of Sindhi Language, National Council for Promotion of Urdu Language, New Delhi and Central Institute of Indian Languages at Mysore, Central Institute of Classical Tamil at Chennai, etc. And further, the National Education Policy 2020 up till class 5, it should be attempted to maintain a medium of instruction as mother tongue only. For these books in the local language will be provided and teachers are encouraged to be bilingual in imparting education. And Right to Education Act 2002 requires that a child's education should be in their mother tongue as far as possible, and further, the technical language in mother tongue. As regarding that, All India Council for Technical Education has issued guidelines permitting technical education institutions to offer their courses in local languages. So also, the All India Council of Technical Education's automation artificial intelligence tool has been developed to translate English language online courses into 11 Indian languages. So these are the initial and important promotions taken by the union government in furtherance of the regional languages and to ensure multilingual education system. And further, we want to conclude about the very discussion on this lecture relating to language politics, the Constitution of India, and the law in relating to, in particularly, language diversity, as we found. So let us conclude our discussion relating to these three important lectures that we found formed in this series of lectures. And this is the concluding portion where we would like to conclude that India has a rich history of languages. However, they are threatened due to the prevailing globalization. While diverse languages enrich the culture, access to education, and even cultural know-how over half are at risk of extinction. Globalization, nuclear family structures, and migration prioritize the English, reducing usages of minority languages, limited content on the internet in these languages further marginalizes them. Lack of scripts and government assimilation policies add to the danger. Preserving these languages requires promoting education in mother tongues, supporting digital presence, and recognizing their cultural significance. Only then can India truly celebrate its linguistic diversity and ensure their survival for future generations.